ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदः। So we have discussed the Bhagavad Gita with the theme surrender unto me. What is Krishna meaning by surrender? What is the actual understanding of surrender? And is it rejection of everything else? All those things we discussed in detail. So one thing I would like to highlight, second chapter, Arjuna says to Krishna, Shishyasteham Shadimam Tam Prapannam. So there the word used is Prapannam, means Prapatti. Prapatti means surrender to Guru. And in 18th chapter, Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Raja. He uses the word Sharanagati. Sharanagati means surrender to Krishna. So between Guru Prapatti and Bhagavad Sharanagati, there is a difference of 16 chapters. After you surrender to Guru, then he will instruct you in transcendental knowledge, then you have to act in devotional service, and then you have to perform your prescribed duties, you have to be situated in your right ashrama, right varna. That is when you will reach the point of actual surrender to Krishna. Surrender to Krishna doesn't happen initially itself. That is a point to be emphasized here. So, unless you are situated in your Swadharma, you are not in the right place to surrender. And Manmana Bhavamad Bhakto doesn't happen. So, many times this word is commonly used that you have to surrender to Krishna. But then here Krishna is telling that surrender cannot happen unless you are situated in the right place, in your constitutional position, in your more than constitutional position, in your position of varna and ashrama, where you can perform your prescribed duties. So if you are doing your paradharma initially only, then you will be in false direction, you will be falsely directed, and you will be driven by ego. And because you will be driven by ego, you will be falsely directed, you can never reach a point where you are going to surrender to Krishna. So the platform of Swadharma is very important. And that dharma, it will be causing yajnas. And that yajna will eventually cause parjanya, it will cause basic necessities fulfilled, everything. So that whole section is there. What is that? Annat bhavanti bhutani parjanya dhanna samava yajnat bhavati parjana yajna karma samad. So karma is the root of yajnas. And that karma is possible when you are doing your swadharma. And how karma comes? What is the source of karma? Karma brahmodbhavam vidhi. Karma is defined by Brahma, Parabrahma, Supreme Lord. And Brahma Akshara Samudbhava. Whatever is defined by Brahma is there in Akshara. It is there in Vedas. Brahma Karmodhavam vidhi. Karma Brahmodhavam vidhi. Brahma Akshara Samudbhava. Tasmat Sarvagatam Brahma Nityam Yajne Pratishritam. So don't have to worry. As long as you are performing yajnas, the Parabrahma Lord is eternally situated. You are never on the wrong track. So Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, anybody who is participating in Pravartitam Chakram, he is never wrongly directed. He is always on the right track. Why? Because he is following the path of Vedas. So that way, gradually purification will happen, and then you will reach the stage of Manmana Bhavamad Bhakto Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru. So this is the whole understanding that we can get from the Bhagavad Gita. Okay. Now, many times when we say these things, the objection that comes is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come to give us something higher. He has come to give us pure love of Krishna. And in the pure love of Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has rejected all these things. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has rejected Varnashrama as external. It is just a material platform, material designation. What Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is concentrating is on pure love of Krishna. And by bringing all these things, we are contaminating the pure love of Krishna. Correct. So our understanding is that when we are surrendering to Krishna, we are engaging in pure devotional service. When we are engaging in pure devotional service, then all that is material is rejected. So, Kiba Vipra Kiba Nyasi Shudra Kenonai, E Krishna Tattvaveta Sei Guru Hai. So, as long as you are on the platform of pure devotional service, it doesn't matter whether you are a Brahmana, Shudra, or anything. Anyone is engaged in pure. So, what is our movement? Our movement is of pure devotional service, not some material designations. So, that famous discussion between Ramananda Rai and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is cited as a frequent example. Eho Bhai. This is external. This is Bhai. It is rejected. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is rejected. So we should not accept. So now let us look into the Ramananda Rai and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu samvada. What they want to say. Are they rejecting these teachings of Bhagavad Gita, which Krishna has told? One thing is that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu approached Ramananda Rai in the form of a sannyasi. He mentioned repeatedly that I am a Mayavadi sannyasi. I want to hear about devotional service from you. Because Ramananda Rai had perfected the art of devotional service. And Ramananda Rai approached Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as a Shudra. I am a Shudra and you are a sannyasi. You have to guide me. So that is the mood in which they approached each other. Although they discussed many high-class topics, but they approached each other with their Varna and Ashrama designation. That I am in this level, I have to purify myself to go further. That is the initial beginning in which this discussion happened. So then they paid obeisances to each other, and then he said that Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya has asked me to meet you. Then the glory of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is discussed. Then after that, immediately Mahaprabhu comes to the point. What Mahaprabhu comes to the point? After he glorifies, then he says, which is that sloka? What is the number?
23. That's the starting.
No, this is all glorification of Mahaprabhu. But where the discussion actually begins.
More specifically.
प्रभु कहे पाड़ श्लोक साध्येर निर्णय श्लोक पाठ means kindly recite the shloka which gives sadhyera nirnaya, means which gives a proper definition about the aim of life. Okay, so kindly recite a shloka which gives proper definition about aim of life. So Raya kahe swadharmacharane Vishnu bhakti haya, and for that he quotes the next shloka. Varnashramacharvata Purushena Parapuman Vishnu Aratyate Panta Nanya Tatosha Karana. So, simple question, what is the goal of life? So, he says that, yeah, goal of life is means for common man what it is. They have to perform their duties properly, sincerely, and in this way, gradually they will be purified. And the goal is Vishnu Aradhana. Ultimately, you have to satisfy Vishnu. So, you have to do your duties in such a way that you have to satisfy Vishnu. So that is the ultimate goal of life. Is what Ramananda Rai said.
Prabhupada says like we should accept the
Yeah, if you read the purport, it's all about glorification of Varnashrama only. Prabhupada doesn't seem to immediately contradict this.
You see the last line, this conclusion is that the scientific method of Varnashrama should be adopted by the society.
Yes, yes. So it's all glorification of the Varnashrama system only. And Prabhu kahe eo bhaiya aage kaha aar. This is the problem. What is Prabhu saying? Prabhu is saying, eo bhaiya. Bhaiya means this is external. I want to hear more. He's not telling this is wrong. If Mahaprabhu had said that this is wrong, I want to hear something right, then it would make sense. He's telling this is external, okay. For most of the people, it is correct. Now it is between I and you. It is between Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Rai. Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Lord, and Rama in the mode of Radharani. And Ramananda Rai is, who is Ramananda Rai?
Vishaka and Arjun.
He is Vishaka Sakhi. And being Vishaka Sakhi, they are so intimate. They are in pure love of the gopis. So Mahaprabhu says, okay, that is one level, okay, but I and you are discussing, tell something more like that. His mode is. Okay. Now, where do we fit? Vishaka Sakhi, Sri Krishna, Radharani are discussing, and they are going ahead. At that level, they are discussing something more. Now, where we fit? Are we among those people who are going to sit and discuss this? We are much far from them. So we cannot compare that level. So, yes. He says, tell something more. Krishna karmarpana sarva sadhya sar. Yat karosi yadasnasi yajjosi dadasi yat tapasya konde tat purushva mantarpana. Just by being a part of Varnashrama is not enough. Okay, I am Brahmana. After a few years, my father gives me Upanayana. I studied the Vedas and I continue with life. Or I am a Kshatriya. I take taxes and I continue with life. And my basic necessities are fulfilled because I am doing the dharma of a Brahmana. I am doing the karma of a Brahmana. My needs are fulfilled. Is that enough? No. Vishnu Aradhana, you have to offer everything. See, there are two levels of Vishnu Aradhana. First level that is spoken of in previous verse is, they are doing the prescribed duties. They go to temple and pay obeisances. Farmer gives first share to the temple. And that way Vishnu Aradhana is happening. But here it is more. Here is everything that you do, you have to Tat Kurusha Madarpanam. That is next level. Means all your karma should be arpita to the Lord. It's not just that you are doing as a formality. No. But Prabhu says, Eho Bhaya. Age kaha, tell me something more. I want to hear more from you. Then Swadharma Tyag Hi Sadhyasar. That time he quotes the shloka saying that
Okay, can continue then.
Yes. So he can understand that Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vaja Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Mokshayishyami Ma Shucha. See, one thing is he is offering the results to Vishnu. That is which chapter?
Ninth chapter, 925, 927.
Yes, he is offering the results to Vishnu, whatever he does. But the next level is he has to actually do it for Vishnu. 12th chapter. 12th chapter, he speaks about the different levels of devotional service. No? One level is you are doing and you are offering the results to Vishnu. Next level is you are doing actually for Vishnu. Now Mahaprabhu wants to come to that level.
Like one more comment here, like Swadharma Tyag. Swadharma Tyag. You have to do Swadharma to do the Swadharma Tyag. You are not doing your first thing, you are outside Varnashrama. Well, again coming back to Varnashrama, Swadharma Tyag.
Critical angle we will see. Now, what are the criticizers' positions that we will analyze? When we study Mahaprabhu and Ramananda's points thoroughly, then we will see what is the critic's stand now. After that, okay. So yes, first of all, you have to be doing your Swadharma, and the people who are doing their Swadharma, they are eligible to go to next level. What is the next level? Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Mokshayishyami. Arjuna, first he has to get convinced to do his Swadharma. Then all other dharmas he has to do Tyaga. And because Krishna wants him to do his Swadharma, he has to do it. Correct? So now that level has come now. But what Mahaprabhu says for this ultimate instruction of surrender to Krishna, he says, Eho Bhaiya, ye katha. I am not willing to accept even this surrender also. That is also external. Because surrender you are doing as a part of your Swadharma. You are rejecting other dharmas and your Swadharma you are doing. And the results of that, what happens, good or bad out of that, we are surrendering to Krishna. Krishna will take care about the faults that are there in my dharma. So that is external. Do something more. That is Dhyana Mishra Bhakti Sadhya Sad. So what is happening is, as of now, we are discussing karma. Still, Swadharma, the karma associated with my Sadharma, That I will do. I will surrender everything. But still there is no jnana about the God, about Supreme Lord that is coming up. Why I should do it for Supreme Lord? You are doing yajna and you are reached to a point of surrender. But still, why I should surrender to him? That jnana should come. So that jnana is the next level, is what Ramananda said. That time he quotes the shloka, Brahmabhota prasannatma na shoshati na kamshati sama sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhakti lavate param. So, when you get jnana, you will be prasannatma, you will be completely satisfied and you will be treating everyone equal. That stage, mad bhakti lavate param. Sometimes in my children complain, I want this and I don't have this and this, that, and all the time I quote this shloka that Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na shochati na kankati. They don't lament, I don't have this. And they don't hanker, I want this. And when you reach that stage, that is when Mad Bhaktir Lavate Prab, that is when your devotion starts. Bhakti starts at what point? When you are free from hankering, when you are free from lamentation. That is when the ultimate devotional service starts. So he is beginning the starting of devotional service. After with knowledge, then you actually begin your devotion, your hankering and lamentation is not there. So what we are saying, we are bhaktas. You have to see which is your level. We are free from shoka and akanksha or no. Then Mahaprabhu says, Eho bhaiya, aage kaha. Please tell something more. Okay. Jnana Shunya Bhakti Sadhya Sar. This is the important level where Bhakti means
Jnana Shunya.
Jnana Shunya. Jnana Shunya means what? These people get confused. They think their emotional attachment to Krishna is this level. You should be free from already lamentation and hankering. Then this Jnana Shunya Bhakti makes sense for you. Mad Bhaktim Labate Param. So our test, are we come to this level? Are we free from lamentation? Are we free from hankering? Then it makes sense to go ahead to next steps. So that time the shloka of Lord Brahma is said that those who have thrown away this impersonal conception and empirical philosophy truths, and they should hear from self-realized souls about your holy name, form, pastimes, and qualities. Then they should be fixed in this, completely giving up sinful activities. And such people, they can live in any ashrama, any varna. They are already in devotional service. That is the highest point that Ramananda is telling. That once you are at this stage, then ashrama and all doesn't matter. Then you are completely engaged in devotional service. So that stage a person should be. Now, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says something else. He doesn't reject this, or he doesn't say, tell me something more. He tells, this only you explain. Means Ramananda has arrived at the highest point. Yeah, that highest point you explain more. What is the highest point? You should engage in holy name, hearing, chanting holy name, and you should have enough time to discuss about the qualities and form and pastimes of Krishna. Correct. The other day we were discussing that every grahastha, what he should do, he should plan his occupation in such a way that at least sometime in the evening he should have for hearing Harikatha. Correct. So now Ramandra is arriving at that point that after doing, you are engaging in occupations, but there should be Harikatha Shravana in association of devotees. That is the level you should. Then Mahaprabhu says, explain this more, because now who are the devotees with whom you are to have Harikatha Shravana and what type of Harikatha Shravana, that you have to explain more. Then he says, ecstatic love for Supreme Personality of Godhead is essence of all. Yes, you should have ecstatic love. Now, in this, the devotees can be neophyte devotees, or the devotees can be advanced devotees. Now, the devotees can be discussing ecstatic love also. Now, who is discussing? Ramananda and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They will going to discuss the highest level. Okay. Now it goes on. Sadasya Rasa, Sakhya Rasa, then Vatsala Rasa, Madhurya Rasa, the love of gopis and the love of Radharani, the level in which Ramananda and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu have graduated. To their level, they are going to speak. And then Ramananda speaks a whole list of shlokas on the glory of Radharani. So now, which is this level? This level is association of devotees, and in that you are discussing topics of Krishna. And that association itself has different levels. One is Kanishta Adhikari, Madhyam Adhikari, Uttam Adhikari, and Uttam Adhikari also there is a very high stage of gopis and Radha Krishna, that level. Correct. Okay. Now this whole background is given. We have understood what Mahaprabhu discussed, what Ramananda points put the points. Okay, now what is the problem with the critics now? Tell me now. Earlier we discussed Bhagavad Gita. And in Bhagavad Gita we saw that we should develop knowledge of soul. Even after developing knowledge of soul, you should not give up your karma. Because karma is essential for yajna. Everyone has to do according to their varna and ashrama, their duties which are going to help yajna. And that way you will be gradually purified. Yoga Ruda, the yoga ladder you will climb to reach sense control stage. And once you reach the stage of sense control, then you will meditate on Lord. And by meditation on Lord, you will be able to perform devotional service. Still, you should understand that three modes are acting. So you should act under three modes. And Vedas will teach you how to act under three modes and gradually purify. And the essence of all this is you have to perform your sadharma. And by performing your sadharma, you are gradually elevated. Faults of paradharma, don't worry, because you surrender to Krishna, he will take care of the faults. And in this way, manmana bhava mad bhakto. That is what the whole essence of Bhagavad Gita we have discussed. Now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling Eho Bhaya for Varnashrama. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also telling Eho Bhaya for Sarvadharman Parityaja. What is he saying? Is he telling that you have to reject Varnas and Vashramas, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra? The idea is that in Kali Yuga there is only Vaishnava. Brahmana, no Kshatriya, no Vaishya, no Shudra, everything is rejected.
Then why there is Kali?
Then, if that is the argument of Sarvadharman Parityaja, Mamekam Sharanam Vraja, which Prabhupada might have quoted hundreds of times. And many people got inspired by this to join as full-time brahmacharis, take up saffron, take up sannyas. We should reject all that because Mahaprabhu has said Sarvadharman Parityaja is also external. That means we should now stop making saffron devotees, full-time devotees and sannyasis. Everyone is just Vaishnava.
Where does this initiation has to be given?
Yeah, where does this argument lead to?
There is no Harinam Diksha Brahma Gayatri.
Nothing is required.
Direct Babaji.
Yeah. So, means you are giving an impractical proposal that become Ramananda and Mahaprabhu or don't oppose. Either you are on the level of Mahaprabhu Ramananda where you are discussing highest, or what will happen to you, I don't know. It is like a temple commander. Somebody brahmachari joins the temple. You come to my level of being a saffron devotee or you are out of that. So by this, are you not rejecting the majority of the world population? Is that what Mahaprabhu wanted to give? Paropkar? Vitvite ache jatam nagaradi gram sarvatra prachara hoibe moro naam. Bharat bhumite hoila manushya janma jar kari para pukar. Now, by your idea of rejecting everything, rejecting all varnas, all ashramas, and Sarvadharman Parityaja, just talk about Radha Krishna only. Anybody less than that is rejected. How can we do Paropkar? Idam tena tapaskaya na bhaktaya Pradachana Krishna says. After that, which is the next shloka? Yaidam paramam bhukyam bhaktesh avidyasati bhakti mai param prokta mame vaishyasasi. By your understanding of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu rejecting everything, I will not be able to deliver the word. What Prabhupada did to deliver the word? Prabhupada introduced Harinam. At their level, he accepted. You are in this level, start chanting Hare Krishna. As they became serious in chanting Hare Krishna, what is the next level? They started awarding initiations. Deity worship, initiations. As they became serious in initiations, some of the serious candidates are given Brahmanical initiation, Brahma Gayatri. Why Brahma Gayatri is given? so that they can perform the Brahmana duty of deity worship. Deity worship is for neophytes, you know that? It is mentioned in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu that neophyte devotees are engaged in deity worship. It is not that the senior among ISKCON devotees who stay 15 years in the movement, the seniors are doing deity worship. But according to Shastra, this seniority is for neophytes.
Because they have complete faith in the holy name.
Sense is not controlled.
Exactly.
To control the senses, deity worship is required, so that is for neophytes. When you reach the sense control stage, you have to go ahead. So where are we now? What is our level? Have we done a proper evaluation? Are we in a level where if Mahaprabhu Ramananda is sitting, I am third person sitting there, can I talk with them and do I have some points to discuss with them? What does the level we speak about Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma? Some middle level. Middle level is what? Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma, na chochati, na kangshati, sama sarveshu buddheshu mad bhakti labhate. Are we in this middle level at least? Where there is no shoka, no lamentation. There is no hankering that I want something. Sama sarveshu buddheshu, I am seeing everyone equal. This Prabhuji has not done khichdi nicely today. When I give him suggestion, he is not listening to me. This is our level. I am not doing sama sarveshu bhuteshu. How can I enter devotional service? Mad bhaktim labate param, the highest devotional service, I have still not entered. That is my level. So, when we are not on Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma still, then we have to take up Ramananda's solution, which is slightly lesser than. Which is the lesser instruction? Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vaja aham tvam sarva papebhyo moksha. Now, are we in this level where we are taking absolute Krishna's shelter? Which are the 6 sanghas of Sharanagati? Anukulasya sankalpa, pratikulasya varjanam, rakshishyati iti shaso, goptrutve varnanam vita, atma nikshepa karpanyo, shadvida Sharanagati. Let us analyze this. Accepting everything that is favorable for devotional service. Maybe it is possible, easy. Although it's very difficult, we are not able to do it, but let's theoretically assume that, okay, we are doing. Rejecting everything that is unfavorable for devotional service. Yeah, we are not able to reject those relatives who are not unfavorable. We are still not able to reject so many things which are unfavorable.
The job itself they are doing.
We are not able to reject our job which is unfavorable.
Yeah, exactly. It's a struggle to chant 16 rounds which they vowed at.
Yes, you see, morning program is such a difficult thing for today's Grahasthas. Manglarti. Basic minimum which every initiated devotee has to do. Manglarti, chanting 16 rounds Hare Krishna mantra, daily Bhagavatam hearing, evening Arti. These minimum things are so difficult for reading Prabhupada books every day. Minimum things are so difficult for a standard initiative devotee. What to speak of eating only Krishna Prasada, that is also not happening. People are obliged to eat something, no onion, no garlic, Jain food, all those things. There are different levels of compromise which everyone has accepted. So, under those circumstances, we are still not on the level of Sarva Dharman Parityaj. We are not Anukulasya Sankalpa, we are not Pratikulasya Vartana. Rakshishyati iti Vishwaso, are we in that level? No, still we don't have that faith. Our job is there, our pension is there. After retirement, what is the plan? After retirement, where is it? Devotees are thinking of these things. There are devotees whose crores of money is there, but still, are we able to do that cut? No. Krishna will maintain us. Why I have to worry? Is that big change happening? Rakshishyati iti Vishwaso, is it coming? What to speak of Goptrutva Varnan? Krishna will maintain us. Atma Nikshepa, throwing ourselves at Krishna and becoming humble. So, 6 limbs of Sharanagati itself we are far from. We have still not approached Sharanagati. What we are speaking of Radha Krishna Prem. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramananda are discussing more than this. More than the Shadvida Sharanagati, more than Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma, we are reaching something high. We are struggling to not even cross this. Okay, and what is before Sarva Dharman Parityajam? Yat karoshi yadasnasi yat jyosi dadasiyat yat tapasasya kaunteya tat kurusho madarpanam. Everything that you do, you offer to Krishna. Even before surrender, okay, you have desire to earn money, offer it to Krishna. You have desire to eat good food, offer it to Krishna. Everything you do. Are we offering everything to Krishna?
Whatever we like, we offer. Whatever we don't like, we don't offer.
So even that level is difficult for us. Yat karosi, yadasnasi, yat juhosi, dadasi, yat tapasyasi. All austerities, everything we are not able to offer to Krishna. That Kurusha Madarpanam. So that Madarpanam is not happening. Before that, Varnashrama Acharota, Purushena Parapuman, Vishnu Aradhyate Parapuman. What happens if we reject this? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said he wants to do something more than this. So when he did more than this, he did not make Ramananda quit his Shudra job. But within his Shudra job, they discussed about other Krishna topics.
One thing is that to reject Varnashrama, you have to follow Varnashrama.
You have to first come to Varnashrama and then go beyond Varnashrama.
Think of that.
Beyond Varnashrama.
First, completely outside
this step, and what is happening is in the Western world, there is no Varnashrama. It is Varna Sankara. Varna Sankara population. So Varna Sankara should come to Varnashrama and then go beyond Varnashrama. So Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma.
Directly jumping to
Varna Sankara, if they are discussing Radha Krishna Prema, they will become Sahajiya.
Yeah, they are becoming
Sahajiya. So now the path is you are carving the path of Sahajiyism. So let the Varna Sankara come to Varnashrama. That is why Prabhupada gave Brahma Gayatri. First he created a class of Brahmanas. Prabhupada's hope was that these people will read my books perfect and these people will preach this philosophy to others who don't take Brahma Gayatri. They will do Bhakti Shastri, they will do Bhakti Vaibhav, they will understand this philosophy and they will preach this to others. Instead of that, what we are doing is you stay 5 years, 10 years in moment, first initiation, second initiation. And that second initiation will get Brahma Gayatri. How it is different from caste Brahmanas? How it is different from caste Brahmanas, where just because you are born in a family, you are given thread. Just because you have joined ISKCON, you are given thread. What is the difference? There is a resolution that was passed that while giving second initiation, you are not supposed to see what their caste is, what their background is, what their race is, men or woman. Till here, it's okay. No problem. Maybe. But you are not supposed to see whether they are doing job or no, how they are earning money. Then how does it make difference between caste Brahmanas and us if we are also saying the same? So Prabhupada's plan was very excellent. I will first give Harinam. Among those who are little more purified will give Brahma Gayatri. They will study Shastras. After becoming Dvija, what you will do? Veda Bhadarata. Veda Vakya Patet Vipra. You study Veda Vakya, you study our Shastras and become Vipra. And then Brahma Janayati Iti Brahmana. Then you become Brahmana. And after you become Brahmana, make others Brahmana. Preach this. But now what is happening? Only you give the samskara. And then people are not studying Prabhupada books and not doing Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhav and preaching this to others.
Samskara is also not proper.
That is another thing. That
okay,
is
Diksha is there, the external
you are not
rituals. Okay.
The right candidate is also not chosen. That's a far thing. It's a very big thing if we go to that level.
Exactly.
But unless you establish this Varnashrama, Varna Sankaras cannot go to the highest level. They will just become sadhus. If you see the 500 years of Gaudiya history, although Mahaprabhu has given the highest philosophy of pure love of God, if Mahaprabhu, since he has given the highest philosophy, the takers of the highest philosophy should today have been in the highest level. What is happening? Every generation, there is a collapse. Mahaprabhu preached, Nityananda Prabhu preached, then the whole thing fell down. Fell down means it's not that they are doing karma kanda, it's not that they will cross fall down into sexual deviations and other topics. Such heavy fall downs. After Mahaprabhu introduced the highest philosophy, such gross deviations from those. Then it was Vishwanath and Baldev who lifted it. Narottam, Srinivas, Shamananda brought some level, then it collapsed. Then Vishwanath and Baldev lifted it again, gave a solid foundation. What happened after them? Again it collapsed. All ball, Saki Beki, Gaurang Nagri. And what was their thing? Kante Mala, Hate, Wala, something.
Hake Tilak Galai Mala. Yeah, this is my favorite verse. Kalir Chala.
Yeah, Kalir Chala. So they all become Kalir Chala. With what? Kante Mala and 2 women around. So that was the level came to. Then Bhakti Vinod, Bhakti Siddhanta, what they did? They lifted it. They brought a standard, and it was not easy. People came to kill Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur. He had to fight with them at the cost of his life. He had to fight, and he had to really destroy, dismantle the Sahajas and establish a solid philosophy. And then Prabhupada banked on that, and he built this worldwide society.
Not only that, they started brahmacharis. See, Bhaktivinoda Thakur himself took Babaji Vesh, but he did not took sannyas. But Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj took, and he initiated sannyas. That means he's bringing runners. He's bringing brahmacharis.
Siddhanta had already reached the stage of Babaji.
He's more than Babaji, by the way.
But he came to the level, he took sannyas, and then he initiated brahmacharya, grahastha, sannyasi, whole varna order he established.
He gave all the ashrams.
Everything established properly to give a solid foundation.
That's where we are holding on.
Now it is because of that some level ISKCON is running, because they know that you have to initiate them in Harinam, you have to initiate them in Brahmana, you have to initiate them in Sannyasa. This Varnashrama thing that Bhakti Siddhanta established is holding ISKCON today strongly. And it is stopping them from collapsing. So now, today if you say all of a sudden that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has rejected this, then all the Varna Sankara, what will happen? It will again collapse. In the name of Radha Krishna, pure love, prema, you're trying to jump. Do you want to collapse this movement? On one hand, you are making it impractical that only the best people should come inside. On the other hand, you are giving room for Sahajas to give their input. What a disaster, what a damage are we going to create? Instead, this message of Krishna Bhagavad Gita makes more sense to me. What is the message? That you have to perform your Swadharma, and in the process of performing your Swadharma, you engage in Vishnu Aradhana, you perform your devotional service, gradually elevate, first come to the level of Manmana Bhavaman Bhakto Madhyaji Mam Namaskar. At least think of Krishna, become his devotee, worship him, obeisances to him, and at least come to this level. Once you come to this level, then the higher topics of what those devotees will do sitting. There is one devotee who is always thinking of Krishna. Another devotee is always thinking. They all come together. Then Dhyane Prayasa. You come to that level of Brahma, which says all these devotees should sit and chant Hare Krishna, discuss the holy names, discuss Harikatha. And among those who discuss Harikatha, then there are people who are Dasya Bhav, Sakhya Bhav, Madhurya Bhav. Madhurya Bhav level of discussing Harikatha is different. Dasya Bhav level is different. And our level is different. Correct. So, all these things will come later. First, you be established entry point. First, gain an entry. This is the very speciality of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you see. What was happening before advent of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or before advent of Ramanuja and Madhvacharya? If you see the history of India, the Brahminical society was too rigid in caste system, too rigid in their ideologies. To come to our level, be like us only, then only thing and all. Buddhists and Jains, they started becoming very popular. They said, no, we welcome anyone. We'll give sannyas to anyone. Anyone come, we'll give sannyas. Anyone. So all of a sudden, it so happened that they started becoming popular. And then these Mimamsakas, what they said is, oh, sannyasi means he is Buddhist. He has rejected Vedas. So then they started hating sannyasis. They said, we don't want to see sannyasis because they are all rejectors of Vedas. Anyone who does the karma, who does shraddha, who does pindi pradana, who does this prescribed duty, they are accepted, not the renunciate. So when Shankaracharya approached Mandan Mishra, he didn't want to see him. Very inauspicious. Sannyasi is very inauspicious. Then they debated. Then Shankaracharya established the importance of Vairagya and Sannyasa in human society. Then what happened is, at least Shankaracharya made them accommodative to Vedas. At least come to the level of Vedas. But still, the Muslim invasion had also started because Jains and Buddhists made a impractical philosophy of ahimsa. That, like this present day Gandhiji, impractical philosophy of ahimsa, that let us all be peaceful and no ahimsa. Then, due to that, the Brahmanas are teaching bad things, that Kshatriya should do war and all those things, everyone should do ahimsa. Like that, they started preaching, the whole country became weak, and foreign invaders from Europe, from Muslims, everyone got an entry. Once they got entry, they started preaching more adharma. They started destroying temples, they started converting people. You just sprinkle some water from masjid and they become Muslims. And this Brahminical society was so rigid, we will not allow you inside. You are converted, we will not allow. Those poor fellows, they had to go back to Muslim. Where they have to need food, they need a society, they need friends to talk with. So they started getting converted. So such a big damage was done. Now, there was some entry point needed for those who have gone. Mahaprabhu created that entry point. He said, no, all these people are welcome. Actually, Ramanuja and Madhvacharya have also written much about it. So the Pancharatha scriptures.
What is
Huh?
like?
They introduced the Pancharatha.
That means okay, like allowing.
No, I'll tell you. The Vede Ramayana Chaiva. No, sorry, what is that? Rigade Bharatam Chaiva, Pancharatram Adhakilam, Mula Ramayana Chaiva, Yete Sadagamaha. Vedas, then Puranas, then Mahabharata, Ramayana, Itihasas. These are genuine scriptures. Along with that, all the Pancharatras are also genuine scriptures. These Pancharatras, they give a practical entry point for everyone in devotional service. Even the Brashtas, even the people who have lost the path, they give an entry point. Now, basic introduction was given by Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, and they wrote various books like Ramanujacharya, he wrote, what is that? Prapannamrita and some other books. Madhvacharya wrote Tantra Sara Sangraha. Like that, various books they wrote, by which practical devotional service through the process of deity worship, through initiations, how it is possible, through Tantra Sara, through the Pancharatra Vidi. So they gave this book. That was expanded by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by allowing everyone entry Diksha. And that Diksha, you have to understand, it is not so easy. Like they say, somebody says that Krishna says, Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mahamekam Sharanam Vraja. You leave everything, then only I will accept you. Mahaprabhu is more merciful. Without leaving everything, I will accept. And Nityanand Prabhu is even more merciful. That, no, even you are fallen, I will accept you. All these ideas are going on in ISKCON. So they say that Krishna says surrender means you have to score 100 marks, then only I will make you pass. Mahaprabhu says, no, without surrender, just 35 marks are enough. Nityananda Prabhu says, just 20 marks are enough. Then, so I was joking. So where does this expand? Prabhupada is even more merciful. Diksha Guru is even more merciful. I am your Shiksha Guru. I am even more merciful. No need to come to ISKCON also. No need to follow for regulative principles also. I will take you back to where this is how Sahajiism is coming in ISKCON. You can imagine. So Mahaprabhu accepted Jagai and Madai only when they surrendered.
No, the condition is that you should stop regulative. Follow regulative.
No, when he fell at the feet of Nityananda Prabhu, then Mahaprabhu accepted. Till that time, Mahaprabhu would not accept. What is the mercy of Mahaprabhu then? What is the greatness of Mahaprabhu? What Krishna is telling you? So, greatness of Mahaprabhu is Atyanta Durlabha Prema Puribaradan Shikhaya Sharanagati Bhaktir Pran. He has come to teach this surrender. Krishna was teaching Arjuna, who is an exalted devotee, who knows what surrender is. When he says Sarva Dharman Parityaja, Arjuna knew, oh, I should do this thing. We are so fallen, when we read Sarva Dharman Parityaja, we get confused. We don't even know what Sharanagati is.
Like, Vishaya Chadiya, Sirasya Majya Mukta Bolo.
Vishaya,
you have to Chadiya.
You have to give up sinful life.
Unless you give up, don't give up this Vishaya.
You are not accepted. So, four regulative principles, that's why Prabhupada got. So, it's not that surrender is something mental speculation we discussed in the last class. Surrender is some concrete thing where you give up sinful life, you give up old ways, and you agree to act according to the direction of scriptures. That is the point of surrender. So when Jagai Madai agreed for that, that is when they were accepted entry. So similarly, Mahaprabhu created that entry point for who are Bhrashtas. who are of Mahaprabhu. So now, when I give you entry, come inside. Your anarthas and contaminators. You are not supposed to bring those anarthas and contaminate us in the name of feminism, in the name of equality, in the name of all this wrong things and all you contaminate us. When you come inside, you have to follow our rules, which are there in Shastras. Got the point? So you have to accept the Vedic authority, you have to accept the Varnashrama, you have to accept the Swadharma, come to the stage where, yes, Varnashrama Acharata, Purushena Purushena, you should start doing Vishnu Aradhana. Then Yata Yat Karoshi Yadasnasi, offer everything in Vishnu Aradhana to Vishnu. Then you come to Sarvadharman Parityaja. Then you come to Jnane Prayasa. Then you understand, then I am ready for what is that? Pure devotional service. Follow this step by step to come to the level of Mahaprabhu Ramananda Samvada. Cannot reject that. So Bhagavad Gita still is not rejected and Swadharma still is not rejected. You have to perform Swadharma. Based on Swadharma, you must do your yajna. Then gradually purification will happen. That gradual purification will make you a pure soul. Krishna has not told to reject everything else and just do your concocted idea of surrender. He is still saying that you must follow your duties of Varna and Ashrama. You must participate in Yajna. You must accept the Vedas. You must study the Vedanta and then you should be perfect. So that position still stands even after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Ramananda. Any objections in that? Any questions? You can ask.
So very clear. Picture is very clear.
So now that we are into the service of engaging society, engaging people who come, we are the service of engaging Gurukula students and all. It's okay if they are not on the level of Ramananda and Mahaprabhu. They can be on the level of Brahma. They can be on the level of Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma Nashochatinaka. They can be on the level of Sarvadharman Parityate. They can be on Varnashrama Acharata. Somehow they are doing Vishnu Aradhana. They may not directly do Vishnu Aradhana. They may be a Karmakandi Brahmana who is assisting in Vishnu Aradhana. Don't give them initiations. I'm not telling you to give them Harinam or Brahmanical Diksha or something. They can be on the border. At least they will create that favorable society for us, those who are initiated and serious practitioners, to go forward. So what is the harm in this proposal? And the minimum things that a Brahmana has to do, the minimum things that Kshatriya has to do, like his Nitya Karma, Nitya Karma, his Shodasha Samskaras for the children, then even their daily routine like Sandhya Vandana, Deva Puja, the Yajna Samskaras that they have to do, Janakadeya. Why Krishna says, Karmanaiva Samsiddhim Astitya Janakadeya. King Janaka did that by his performance of activities. Swayam Krishna did that. If you see the Krishna book or the 10th canto of Bhagavatam, Krishna himself, he called the Brahma. When Krishna was born, Nanda Maharaj called the Brahmanas to recite the Vedic mantras. When during the Govardhan Leela, Krishna said to Nanda Maharaj, all the Brahmanas perform the Yajnas, let the Veda mantras be chanted. When Krishna goes to Gurukula, he learns the Vedas. Krishna Balaram learns the Vedic mantras. Then when he enters Grahastha Ashrama, Narad Muni enters different chambers, different houses. In one house, he is playing with children. In one house with wife, he is performing household. In one house, he is performing yajna, his nitya karma. He is doing the yajna, he is doing the dana, yajna, dana, tapakarma, pavanani, manishina. He is doing those things in one house. You can see. So even Supreme Lord, yadi yam na varteyam karyam karma na tandrata mama vartamano vartante manusya partha sarvasha. Everyone will say, Krishna is not doing, why I have to do? Utsi deyur ime loka na karma Karma Chodanam, Sankarasya Kartasyam Upahanyam Puja. I will be responsible for Varna Shankara. Can Krishna be responsible for Varna Shankara? The purest of the pure. What he is telling, I am pure, I am doing this dharma. If I don't do this dharma, I will be responsible for Varna Shankara. Such is the emphasis on Swadharma, such is the emphasis on this. So, the proposal that without performing Swadharma directly you are a surrendered soul, it doesn't seem to tally with what Krishna is saying in the Bhagavad Gita. So better let people be engaged in dharma, let people be engaged in swadharma. We have to identify swadharma. So the Gurukula, the Varnashrama colleges, they are very important to put them right on track in swadharma. This is what I could conclude for this. Any comments, any questions? So we plan to close this topic on surrender into me. Today, we discussed from the surrender from the concept of Arjuna Vishada Yoga, from the concept of Sankhya Yoga, Karma Yoga, Dhyana Yoga. At no point of time it seems that Krishna is telling to reject any of those steps. To reject is because it's the word of Bhagwan. When he says Karma Yoga, when he says engage in Yajna, when he says do Dhyana Yoga, when he says Aru Rukshor Munir Yoga Karma Karana Muchate, each of this is the word of Bhagwan. And when the Bhagwan says these things, it doesn't make sense that Bhagwan is going to reject his own words and create an imaginary Sharnagat. So the words of Bhagwan are very important. So the surrender is actually the Swadharma Palana, and in that process, gradual purification to come to the level of pure devotional service. This is the roadmap that Krishna has laid. So this is the message that we want to give through this series of Surrender Unto Me. And any questions, any comments, any understandings that are different from this, kindly write to us, kindly get in touch with us so that we will be able to expand this message. Hare Krishna. पंचाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय।